Hello and welcome to
welcome to this High School of Fame.
Really?
Really?
I'm Matt.
Oh, you're not going to say the rest?
Well, I'm okay. The podcast where
we were
probably talk about high school.
Hopefully we
won't.
We're not.
We're not going to do it. I'm Matt.
I am Sean.
Sean. Oh.
I'm Matt.
No, it's too late. All right. Well, that was the most interesting intro ever.
It was the duetro.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, bad news.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right. So here's our bad news today. I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I don't remember the last time I went first.
There we go.
But it doesn't matter. Okay. So Monday night I tried sleeping on my back. Tuesday night I tried sleeping on my left side. Wednesday night I tried sleeping on my stomach. Thursday night I tried sleeping on my right side. I've tried playing white noise. I've tried a diffuser with essential oils. I've tried avoiding caffeine. I've tried taking Benadryl. I've tried having a glass of wine before bed. Nothing works. No matter what I do, in the morning I wake up and look like this. Nobody can see what I look like.
You're about to describe.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Some things about yourself.
Okay, my knees are too small. My teeth are out of order. I have a birthmark on my eyeball. My fingernails grow inward. My arms don't go. My muscles are hollow. My nipples are in the wrong hemisphere. My body always turns my lunch into dinner. I can't get rid of my scrapes. As you recall, I have no belly button. My hair grows underneath. I have what they call shark ears. So I need some help getting a better night's sleep. I'm a mess, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sleep is going to take care of a lot of these things?
I mean, if I can get some good sleep, my body will, kind of get back into its normal rhythms. And then, my arms should hopefully start to go again. Since they haven't been going.
They haven't been going. They've been, yeah.
It's been a while since my arms have gone. Not exactly sure where, but yeah, the diffuser was a waste of money.
Yeah, and those essential oils, I don't think those are cheap.
No, but they're essential.
Yeah.
What makes an oil?
They haven't been furloughed.
Yeah. What makes an oil an essential oil?
I don't know.
Like over any other oil.
That's determined on whoever's selling the oils. They're probably all essential. If you're selling the oils, then you're
I guess
consider them essential.
True, that would make sense, I guess.
Everyone needs all these oils because I'm selling my oils.
Right. Well,
what are shark ears?
They're just holes. No, nothing external.
Got it.
They're 100% internal ears.
Does that help? Does that help with hearing? You think?
I wouldn't think so.
Is the outer portion of the ear supposed to like catch sound or something? Like, is there any acoustic need for the outer portion of the ears?
Well, I mean, I'm not an ear scientist, but I would assume that the structure of the ear must have something to do with the collection of sound.
An ear scientist.
Mm-hmm. I'm not one.
So you're not like a biologist?
No.
Or an ear, nose, and throat guy?
I'm none of that, but I'm also not an ear scientist. If it's real or not, I'm not one. If it exists, I'm not one. If it doesn't exist, I'm definitely not one.
All right, I suppose that still applies.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess. Do you want to elaborate any more? Like,
I mean, what more can I say?
Your body turns your lunch into dinner. What does that mean?
I mean, I think we know what that means. I think what that's insinuating is that I eat my own. All right, moving on. Sean's news.
You eat your own product.
Sean's news.
Okay, I guess maybe brace yourselves, audience. I don't know what's happening.
It's just longer.
Here. Okay. Huh. All right. Let's see. Have had a lot of different and interesting jobs in my life. I've been a self-checkout cashier, a wet nurse, a door-to-door personal shopper, a phone sex repairman, but the job I enjoyed the most was sitting in a room full of weirdos and telling them about my adventures in prostitution. So Okay, anyway, I'll just go on. Prostitution was my first job, and I made really good money doing it. My pimp Sam was a very fair pimp. I mean, I gotta say. He considered me his number one bitch and always hit me the least. Well, that's good. He also hit me the most because I was his only bitch. Oh. He always treated me well, so when I wouldn't do a good job, I would feel really bad. I started messing up orders. Clients would ask me for a specific thing, and I would do something different. When it came to the mouth, I was all hands, and when it came to the hands, I was all thumbs. I wouldn't smile enough. I talked badly, and in general, I made the clients uncomfortable. Finally, one morning, when I arrived for work, Sam came to me and told me that he had to let me go. He told me that my Yelp reviews were abysmal, and he was losing business because of me. That's when he told me about Max, my replacement. I left prostitution and never looked back. Minus that one time I looked back because Max was beautiful. I moved on with my life and found better ways to make money using my mind and not my supple body. Now this is what I do. Other than my normal Monday to Friday gig, I spend time each week reading these stupid stories Matt writes about my fake life. So really, what's better? Having this stupid crap coming out of my mouth or having random people coming into...
Okay. We got it. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Let's just say...
Enough said.
Let's just say some people were trying to make their lunch my dinner.
Okay.
Oh. All right.
So when it came to your mouth, you were all hands.
I was all hands. I would basically... I don't know what that means. I would... I would put my hand completely in my mouth. Okay. So then when it appeared as though I was using my mouth to do things, it was really a ruse, and I was really using my hands, hand the whole time.
So you were doing mouth-based sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
It got really awkward when it was time to wave goodbye.
Oh,
so
boy.
I thought I was going to have more to say about Max.
Well, feel free.
But I thought that I thought that there was going to be more for me to say about Max, but there wasn't.
I mean, apparently he was just beautiful.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you were in his presence for very long.
No, I mean, I left. I mean, this is, I mean, I suppose I could have continued to pursue prostitution after being replaced by Max, just finding a new pimp, or maybe switching it over and, trying the pimp side of things. But I decided I've been into it for too long. I think I just need to try something else, I guess.
So what exactly does a phone sex repairman do?
It's a lot of interior cleaning. Yeah, you got to take the phone. I mean, this is back in the days of your phone being attached to the wall with a cord.
Right.
And you have the handset that you're holding. Yeah. A lot of stuff would get crudded up in there, and I'd have to take the handset apart and do some fine-tune cleaning and stuff to make the phones work again.
So was this on the like you'd go to people's houses that have called phone sex places, or you were at the phone sex place cleaning their phones?
I would go to the homes of the people calling in to, because I mean, let's be real here. The people working at these places, they're probably not really enjoying themselves as though they may make it seem.
Right.
But the people calling in are getting their money's worth. So I had to clean up the money's worth.
Gross.
Bad news.
Well, that was very fun.
Turned out a little better than I was thinking it would.
So on last Thursday's episode, which we recorded, I believe, at the end of December, but was released, just last Thursday. I was just trying to check when we recorded that early January. So yeah, we recorded that episode early January, and we had talked in the bad news of that episode. That I feel like I have to say it that way every time.
Yeah.
We had talked about getting medical advice from Dr. Seuss for the fact that I was on a diet where I did not defecate anymore, and we were curious as to what that would sound like. So, as a treat, possibly,
as a thing?
To our listeners, I decided to take a Dr. Seuss story and modified it slightly to basically kind of get an idea of what it would sound like for Dr. Seuss to tell me to go ahead and use the bathroom. So for us, it's been a couple of months since we talked about this, but for you guys, it's been days.
A few days.
So I
What story did you adapt?
I adapted Green Eggs and Ham because it felt like that's kind of where we were going when we were talking about it in that episode. Because I think you had mentioned like, don't do it in a box, don't do it with a fox, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you did you did say then that Dr. Seuss would say, "You should, I would."
That was my genius off the cuff.
Yeah. So basically, I took the book and I cut a chunk of it out because that book is way too long for what it does. It's very repetitive. As an adult, it's not as fun as it is when you're a kid. I think kids, for some reason, I think repetitiveness is good for children.
Repetition.
But whatever.
So, I mean, as far as, because he's regarded as like a genius author, basically, because his books are like massively successful, but
right.
He really did he took an easy route. I think he came up with a couple lines and just basically, for the most part, repeated them over and over again in his books.
Right.
The one that stands out is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That one seems to have like a beginning, middle, and end story.
Right.
Where the rest of them are just a bunch of random lines on repeat.
So I adapted Green Eggs and Ham to be a story of how Dr. Seuss would tell me that I need to use the bathroom. So I will be playing myself, and Sean, who has not read this yet, will be playing Dr. Seuss. And the story is just, at this point, called Take a Deuce.
Okay, so let's start. I am Dr. Seuss. I am Dr. Seuss. Look at me, I am Dr. Seuss.
Oh, that Dr. Seuss. I do not like that Dr. Seuss.
My best advice is you should deuce.
I do not wish to, Dr. Seuss. I do not wish to take a deuce.
Would you do it here or there?
I would not do it here or there. I would not do it anywhere. I do not wish to take a deuce. I do not wish to, Dr. Seuss.
Would you like to in a house? Would you like to on a mouse?
I do not like to in a house. I do not like to on a mouse. I do not do it here or there. I do not do it anywhere. I do not wish to take a deuce. I do not wish to, Dr. Seuss.
Would you let loose in a box? Would you let loose with a fox?
Not in a box, not with a fox. Not in a house and not on a mouse. I would not let loose here or there. I would not let loose anywhere. I would not wish to take a deuce. I do not wish to, Dr. Seuss.
Would you, could you, in a car? My requests will only get more bizarre.
I would not, could not in a car.
You may do it. You will see. You may do it from a tree.
I would not, could not from a tree. Not in a car. You let me be. I do not let loose in a box. I do not let loose with a fox. I do not like to in a house. I do not like to on a mouse. I do not do it here or there. I do not do it anywhere. I do not wish to take a deuce. I do not wish to, Dr. Seuss.
Say, in the dark? Here in the dark? Would you, could you? In the dark?
I would not, could not in the dark.
You will join me in the dark. A dark adventure will embark. Do not question Dr. Seuss. Do not make me make you loose.
I'd rather stay out of the dark. I'd rather not.
Shh. The doctor needs you in the dark. The doctor is where your deuce will park. Come toward my voice and take a squat. The floor is cold. Now make it hot.
You make me feel no bit of ease. I wish to leave, so may I please?
Listen here, my little friend. Take those knees and make them bend. Squeeze them out and make it quick. To hold it in will make you sick.
You cannot force it out of me. Turn on the lights, I'll make you see.
Your threats are useless, little pet. I'll make you wish we never met. You'd be amazed what I can do. The choice of force is up to you. Do not take me for a fool. Do not make me wait for stool. What doctor wants, doctor will get. Stop messing about and take a shit.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll make some brown. If only for you to calm down.
Make it. I won't wait. Make some thick, don't hesitate.
Oh my god, I feel, hold on.
You wrote
Sorry, I know, but make some thick. Or, sorry.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Oh my god, it fell right out. It did not hurt. I did not shout. I'm not sure how I couldn't see that I could do it from a tree. In a box with a fox. I could do it in a house. I could do it on...
Let me stop you there, pal. I really need you to leave. If you thought things were weird before, it's about to get really weird now.
Oh, okay.
Get out.
All right, that was...
Yay! Dr. Seuss!
So that's, that... I'm pretty sure it would go exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Make some thick. It's just such a...
Make some thick. That's a weird way to describe that.
I forgot when I wrote that line, and it made me laugh.
It caught you off guard.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, weird. Is he calling it? Is he referring to it as thick, or is he saying make some of it thick?
I think he's referring to it as thick. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go into the bathroom and make some thick.
Like make some brown. And,
yeah.
Okay.
Wow. It's fucked up.
We should send this to the Seuss estate and see if we can get this published under the name.
We'll probably get sued.
Well, what?
I don't know.
They can't sue us for
asking. It's parody, so
yeah,
it falls under parody law, so we'd be fine.
No, I'm saying have it published as an official Dr. Seuss work.
Oh.
Like, we're basically just giving him the story. Or, giving his estate the story.
They'd be like, you do realize this is basically green eggs and ham, but really messed up, right?
Well, exactly.
We're like, yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. I mean, everybody poops. And kids should know that.
How many kids' games right now involve poop in some way?
I have no idea, but I feel like it's way too many.
There's a bunch. It's disgusting. Well,
apparently Dr. Seuss would be super into it.
Oh, he couldn't wait.
Because if this story tells you anything about Dr. Seuss, he's really into some brown. I took some.
Are you going to keep seeing him? Are you going to keep seeing him after this? Are you going to switch physicians?
Oh yeah, no. You got to go back to this guy, right? He's weird. He's so crazy that you're just like, I have to keep going back to him because it's on like. Go to a regular doctor, you're not going to have a crazy story to tell anybody. This way, at least you go to Dr. Seuss and it's like, all right, look, I may not be getting better, but...
well, man, am I popular at parties.
There's some crazy stuff going on. This guy...
Woo! It kind of fits accidentally then with your bad news today. What does he have to say about all your other conditions that you rattled off?
I haven't gone back to him since all that stuff's been going on.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So who knows? I mean, who knows what I could be talking about next week after I've finally had a chance to have a chat with good old D. Seuss.
Yeah.
Short for doctor.
Drop a Seuss. Oh, yeah.
Papa Seuss?
Drop a Seuss, I said.
I know.
Oh, yeah, it'd be weird if you called him Papa Seuss.
Papa Seuss. There was one line you read wrong.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, there was, the doctor needs you in the dark. Then you said the doctor is where your deuce will park, but it's the dark is where your deuce will park.
I thought I said the right thing.
No, you said doctor.
Well, we have it on record.
Yeah, it's fine. I let it slide, much like other things. Yeah, so that was stupid. And it's while I was doing it, I'm just like, I was thinking to myself of all the different times I've done really bad parodies of very children-oriented things throughout my existence now. And every time I do it, I just do really messed up, inappropriate versions of things. And yeah, so there's something wrong with me.
Well, let's say you took it actually one step further than Korn. Remember that Korn song where he's rattling off some nursery rhymes? It's on their first album.
Yeah.
Ring Around the Rosie.
Yeah,
I think he did.
Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah, that's the song. Yeah, he just took the actual lyrics or the words from the rhymes and put them in the song. So he didn't go a step further. You actually went a step further.
Yeah, I've talked about that song recently with other people, and I'm just like, I may have even talked to you about it. I can't remember, but I'm just like,
I don't think so.
Probably not. But I'm just like, this song, when that album came out and everything, we were super into it. And I listen, as an adult, if I think about it or listen to it, I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing
It's
I'm
so
like,
dumb,
it's
right?
this like, it's this heavy like metal rock song, and he's just singing nursery rhyme lyrics over the top of it. I'm just like, why did we think this was cool?
You know what's weird? So I thought about this a long time ago. When it comes to, say, artists or bands or people like that, a lot of times their audience is a lot younger than they are, right?
Right.
Let's say you have a band of dudes that are in their 20s, but their fan base is like 16-year-olds, right? What does that say about you if your lyrics and music and behavior is something that appeals to a teenager when you're in your mid-20s?
Right.
Like, doesn't that kind of suggest that maybe you need to grow up a little bit?
Well, it's like a lot of like boy bands and stuff back in, the late 90s, early 2000s. Like a lot of their big fan base was people much younger than them too. Like these girls fawning over much older men. And it's just kind of like weird. I mean, they can't control that, obviously, but.
And that's what those groups were formed to be. Right? They're assembled by the record companies, and they're made to be these hit makers that, they want that young teen girl fan base that's gonna buy every magazine that has them on the cover and all that kind of junk. So, but a group like Korn, that's just who they were. I mean, I'm sure a bit of it is a persona for the stage and stuff, but it seems like that's just the guys that they were. And if you think of like ICP, like.
I still feel like at some point ICP is just going to lift the veil and be like, it was a joke all along, you guys, you're idiots. I'm really just hoping for it. I know it'll never happen, but that's what I want.
You know what's weird is I think this is how it played out. The very first time I ever heard a Korn song was when Subnormal played Blind at, it was like a pep rally or whatever the heck that was.
It was a talent show. It was a talent show in junior high. Hey, look at that. We brought this back to like school time. Yeah, it was
Korn made me think of it.
Yeah, it was, I believe it was a talent show in junior high, and they played Blind, yeah.
So that was my first ever hearing a Korn song. I don't think I knew it was them at the end. Oh, really?
Yep.
I guess we weren't cool enough, like the folks in Subnormal, because they obviously were well aware of the song before that.
We weren't as cool as them, apparently.
No.
I'm just imagining
what happened with those guys.
Oh, I'm imagining that they're probably all still in Elk River.
What was that group that had Wade, our friend Wade, and then I think I think the singer's name was Chris something.
Yeah, they were called Meniscus.
Meniscus.
We're plugging bands from
from the year 2000.
Like 25 years ago. It's before 2000. This is junior high.
Was Meniscus before that? Was Meniscus junior? I thought they were high school. When did you?
I don't remember when they formed or anything, but I'm trying to remember when they put their little album out and stuff. Say their little album is so demeaning.
Yeah.
When they put out their album. What a cute little thing they did. No, I don't remember when that was. I don't think I really knew Wade very well until possibly senior high. I think I knew of him a bit in junior high, but I think
I met him when I switched schools in 4th grade.
Okay.
And his mom was a teacher there too, so I had her as one of my teachers. So yeah, Wade's always cool. I forgot what he even played. Did he play guitar?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm just imagining bringing it back to Korn for a minute, because why not? I'm just imagining when they recorded that song. I can just imagine all the the musicians in the band, they're like, all right, well this is the music we wrote, and then Jonathan Davis comes in. It's like, perfect, you guys, I got the best lyrics for this song.
Check this out. These lyrics,
all right, you guys,
since I was a kid,
start playing. Check this out, and then he just ring around now. It's like I feel like even though I feel like it would have been a record skipping noise, even though there wasn't a record in the room.
They all stopped.
Like, really?
I'd like, no, this is. I'd be like, so. Hold on, Jonathan. This is just you're just working out the melody, right? These aren't the actual lyrics.
No, I got it. Just trust me, guys.
So you're going to sing Ring Around the Rosie.
Yeah.
And then you're going to sing 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe.
Yeah.
And then you're going to sing Knick Knack Paddywhack.
Don't question my genius, bro.
Is there anything that
I don't think you would say bro. Hold on.
No, I don't think so. Which one am I? I could be any of them. I could be Fieldy or I could be Monkey. Or
why did you go Fieldy first?
That was the name that I
Nobody
first
goes
thought of.
Fieldy first.
That's the one I first thought of. Did the drummer have a nickname? It was Monkey Head Fieldy, and then I just think it was John and the drummer, whatever, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't think they had. I don't think John and Dave had quirky little names like the other three did.
I don't remember if they did or not.
I mean, if they did, I don't think anybody referred to them that way. I think they called them Dave and John or Jonathan.
Right.
Did you hear any of the Korn album that came out in 2019?
Nope.
I
mean, not that I'm aware of. I possibly have just in passing, but
I think I heard one of the songs because it was like the single they released, and I'm like, wow, Korn came out with a new album? That's weird. And then, yeah, it's basically it's exactly what you'd expect. It's not, it doesn't show any musical growth or anything. It's just Korn being them.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how many they've come out with since we gave up.
Yeah. I mean, so there's obviously the first album was self-titled, right?
Yeah, I believe.
It was just Korn, and then the second one was Life is Peachy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And then
talking about Korn.
And then Follow the Leader came after that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I stopped after that. I owned Follow the Leader, and I was sort of like mixed on that one.
Yeah.
And then I never had anything after that.
You never got Issues?
No, but actually,
because that album
I enjoyed
better.
That one.
It's better than Follow the Leader. And then after that, I was done. But
I think it's because
I was annoyed by Follow the Leader. Because that was the album that they got super big and popular with, and I was just like, it's not good.
Yeah, I think that's why I never bothered to check out Issues, because I was just done with them by then. But I would hear you guys, like, being with you or being with, like, say, Rick or, anybody else. But some songs would pop on from that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That's actually decent. I could enjoy that more than a song title I can't think of right now that's off of Follow the Leader. I can't think of any song titles off of that. But
yeah, I can't either. And I'm not willing to look it up because I don't care.
It's a rare occasion that I find I still have a giant book of CDs.
Right.
I think they're actually in my trunk right now, but it's a very rare occasion I find myself being curious and throwing in a Korn CD, and after a few songs I'm like, all right, I'm good, at least for a few years. I have.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. It's like, it's like a seasoning. You just got to put a little bit on. Put too much and you're going to ruin the meal.
Your whole food. Your food's ruined.
Your whole evening. Just going to ruin your whole evening.
Now, it's odd that you're describing corn as something you use to season.
Yeah, that was a weird reference.
Yeah. I'm going to sprinkle some corn on my corn.
I mean, that kind of works. You don't want to put too much corn in a meal either.
You're right. Because a lot of that won't get digested.
And much like the food Korn, the band Korn, you know, what they put in is what comes right back out.
If your body turns your lunch into dinner, if I were you, I would eat a lot of corn for lunch so that it's at least
right
in corn form the second time around.
Right.
But then that becomes the third time. Like, when does it stop?
Well, I don't, my dinner doesn't come back out and become breakfast or lunch, so.
All right. I mean, so when dinner comes out, you just jettison it into the toilet, and then jettison. You don't bother. And you don't scream, or it doesn't hurt like you described. It falls right out. This is we're gross for today.
Yeah, this whole episode is just wrong. This is what we get for coming into an episode with not really having material past the 20-minute mark.
Yeah. Well, let's switch over to something else. Before I go into anything, are you familiar with the story of, let me find his name, Frane Selleck?
Not at all. At least not that I'm aware of.
His name is Frane Selleck.
Okay.
He is regarded as the world's most luckiest man.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. So this guy's, I should double check, but I believe he's still around. I think he's still alive. But he was born in 1929 in Croatia. So I was going to go through some of the things he's been through in his time on Earth. A lot of them involving transportation.
His time
in fact,
on Earth.
I think they're all involving transportation.
Okay.
So, he was born in 1929. He was just like a music teacher in Croatia. Didn't really have anything exciting happen to him during the first part of his life and working as a music teacher. But then in 1962, when he was 32, things started to change for Mr. Frane Selick. Let's see. It was January in 62, and Frane was going from Sarajevo to Dubrovnik. I don't know where these places are.
Perfect.
Yeah. He took a train, and it was a cold winter day, and suddenly, for whatever reason, on one website it called it catapulted, but some just basically say that the train derailed with a fault. So this on here it just says derailed because of a fault with the line.
Okay.
So the train crashed into an icy river.
Okay.
And then 17 passengers passed away when this train derailed and landed in the river. But Frane was able to be pulled out by a random person, and it doesn't name the person that pulled him out. All he got was a broken bone and he had some hypothermia for a little bit. But he survived his train derailing and crashing into an icy river where 17 other people did not survive. He survived.
Okay. I'm assuming multiple other people also survived. It's just he's among the survivors.
I'm sure there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much of the train went into the water. Like, it was a car or two,
right?
Or did the entire train derail? I mean, I don't know how big of a train this was. I don't know what percentage of the train actually went in the water. I just know that it gives me that 17 people died and he did not. So let's fast forward 1 year. It's 1963, and Frane got word that his mother was ill, so he had to make a quick trip, and so he got on his very first airplane ride. He had never been on a plane before.
Okay.
And so some of these details are so, you don't know if they're... It says even though the flight was fully booked, he somehow persuaded the airline to allow him to sit in the rear of the plane along with the flight attendants. I mean, I guess that might be possible if he's going off.
That?
That's why I don't know if some of these details are just to add to it.
Yeah. It's 63. Yeah. It's a bit different than trying to travel on a plane now.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so here's the story with this plane. Midway through the flight, both engines of the airplane stopped working, and the cabin pressure dropped. The plane crashed, and 19 people on the plane were killed, but not Frane.
Okay.
Frane. There was a door. I think it was because maybe of some cabin pressure dropping, but there was a door that became detached from the plane, and he was flung out the door.
Okay.
Without a parachute, because you're seldom prepared to be flung out of a door. He landed in a hay.
Yeah. I try to always make sure I'm prepared for any opportunity that I might just get randomly flung out of a door. Yeah. It's crazy how often it happens.
Okay, well, I guess this part of his story isn't that nuts, but yeah. So he landed in a haystack. Okay. And he was just sort of minorly bruised. So he's been on a train that's been derailed and fallen into icy water, and he's been flung out of a door of a plane midair and just landed on a haystack.
Does it say anything about whether or not he got to his mother in time?
It doesn't say that at all.
Well, now
and that's a good thing to figure out.
Worried.
Oh boy. Well,
I mean,
this
she's
was back
definitely
in
dead
63.
now, so, yeah.
She's gone. Yeah. So 3 years later, in 1966, after the plane crash, he was riding a bus, and the bus skidded off the road and crashed into a river.
Jesus. What the? It's rivers.
I know. 4 passengers on the bus drowned. Frane, however, swam to the shore and survived with just some minor bruises.
Jesus Christ.
Right. So he derailed a train.
He derailed a train?
Well, he was in a train that was derailed. He was flung out of an airplane, and then he was on a bus that also went off the road and crashed into a river and just swam away from it.
I'm starting to feel like this is where M. Night Shyamalan got the whole idea for the movie Unbreakable.
It could be. Now, this part, these little added things they've thrown here are so silly. After having a bad experience with public transport, Frane decided to travel mostly by his car. I'm sure that's not real. I doubt he regularly took a bus and regularly took a train. They say he was only on one plane. So
then finally he was like, look, I'm driving now.
Right. I'm sure they're just trying to cleverly transition to what his next incident was. But it's like, I doubt that's true. He probably traveled in his car most of the time.
Right.
So the bus incident was in 1966. So in 1970, so a 4-year break, He was in his car, and his the fuel tank. His car caught on fire while he was driving.
Okay.
And he was able to jump off from the moving vehicle seconds before the fuel tank exploded in front of his eyes. So he was in his car caught fire, and the gas tank caught it, and the car blew up.
Okay.
Yep. So let's go to 1973. So
why not?
3 years after that. Yeah, let's go there. It's another incident in a car. He was driving, and there was a faulty fuel pump, and the fuel pump started spraying gas all over the car. And it says that was causing engine fire to shoot out of the air vents.
Jeez. Okay.
So the air vents in his car were blasting flames at him, and it does say that his hair was completely fried off. But other than that, he survived unharmed.
Okay.
So now he was given a bit of a break, and nothing happened again until 1995.
Wow.
But there's not a lot of detail here. It just says that in 1995, Frayne claims to have been survived being hit by a bus with some minor injuries while walking. So they don't go into how fast or slow the bus was moving, if he was completely leveled, if it was just like, it just sort of knocked him over. I don't know. But
it was
he was hit by a
bus.
bus. Yeah. He can claim that he was hit by a bus. I guess, why would you like make up? If all these other things were true, why would you feel the need to make up getting hit by a bus?
Because it had been 22 years and nothing crazy happened, so he's like,
nothing happened. You're right. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
He jumped in front of that bus.
Okay. So now we go. That was 1995. So now we're going to go to 1996.
Okay. So
not a lot of time.
Stuff's starting to pick back up here for Mr. Frayne.
For Mr. Frayne. So he was driving again, but there was a United Nations truck that was basically barreling right toward him. And so to avoid a head-on collision with this truck, he steered away and he hit a guardrail. Oh yeah, by the way, he was driving in the Croatian mountains, right?
Okay.
So he steered over and crashed into a guardrail, but the guardrail gave in and he fell off the mountain. And it says that he somehow managed to jump out of the car and hang onto a tree, and then watched his car fall 300 feet and crash down at the bottom of this. It's right.
Did you corroborate these stories with anyone?
Well, anyone. There's a lot of articles out about this, unluckiest lucky man or luckiest man. He's, there are many sources that tell the same story.
Crazy.
Yeah. So wouldn't you think that maybe this guy deserves something good to happen to him after all this?
Well, I mean, I can imagine that, like, he wasn't just sitting around doing nothing in between all of these. So, I mean, there's got to be, he's got to have had to, I mean, to endure all of that, in the end, you're like, in the end, I had a pretty decent life. Like, I kept going after all of this.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's go to 2003.
All right, there's more?
Well, actually, this is different. So, at the age of 73, Mr. Frayne Selleck won he won the lottery, and he won $1.11 million in the lottery. It just says he bought two houses and a boat with the lottery amount, and eventually in 2010 he decided to give away most of his winnings to his relatives and friends after he decided to live a frugal lifestyle. So this guy's had a crazy. I think the luck. I wasn't sure what they were talking about when they were saying luckiest man. And at first I thought, well, maybe the luckiest part is just the fact that he won the lottery in the end. But I think it's that
he survived so much crap.
Yeah, he's unlucky in that he was involved in all of these horrific accidents, but lucky because he somehow survived all of them when in some of the cases multiple people were killed.
Yeah, and then went on to, kind of get his karma paid back to him. Like, you know what? You went through a lot of crap. Here's some money. I mean, but you're 73.
Right.
So
yeah, I know.
It's like, all right, well, I could have enjoyed that back when I wasn't in my 70s.
Right.
Back when And the fact that he bought boats, I'm just like, that was the one thing I'm like, I'm waiting for a boating accident.
I know. I
was like, what would have made this story just amazing in the end is like, he bought a boat and then he died in a boat accident.
What's funny is, if you think about it, maybe he bought a boat because he had not had a crazy incident with a boat.
That was
He's
the
like,
one
this
thing.
This is what I'm going with.
Yeah.
I'm close to the ground.
The surface.
I'm close to the surface. I'm close to water, so in case there is some kind of a fire, I could just jump off.
Yeah.
Even if I'm moving at relatively high speeds in a boat, if you have to, you could jump off and just.
He survived potential drowning. He survived potential falling to his death, potential fire, explosions, blunt force trauma.
Yeah, dude.
My God.
So there are sites that basically are like, how much of this is embellished, how much of this is real. Some of these things, there's not a lot of info about them, like the train accident and the plane crash. There's not a lot of documentation on those incidences occurring.
Well, even if you take those two out, I mean, Jesus.
But then the rest of them, aside from the bus, the rest of them are him solo. He's just driving in his car for the other three.
True.
The car exploded. The other car was shooting fire through the vents, and the third one he swerved off the road to avoid a truck, and that car blew up. So it seems like, and I haven't dug much deeper into how much I've given you, but it seems like maybe the one story that involves other people that might be, there's the bus and then him getting hit by a bus. So
right.
I guess if there were witnesses on the bus that hit him, and then the bus that went off the road into the water,
but it sounds
those two might have some.
Sounds like the one where the bus hit him. It wasn't much. It was like he probably the bus was probably stopped. He was crossing the road, and then the bus started to go and kind of bumped him.
I mean, a long time ago, this has happened to me twice. My foot has been run over by a car twice. So I could say I survived getting hit by a car twice.
True.
Technically, I guess you could say I've been run over. I could say I survived.
Yeah.
We don't know the severity of this guy.
I've been run over twice.
I forgot that. I was just going to say that happened, and then I remembered that it happened 2 times to me. My foot. Nothing ever happened to my foot,
How did
though.
that happen to you twice?
Okay. The first time, I want to say it was Josh Eastman's mom or sister or something.
Okay.
What was that friend that Josh had that was he was a grade below us, and I think he had glasses and red hair. I forget his name.
I can picture him, but I don't remember his name.
I forget his name, but I think we were in the street by his house, just playing hack. We were playing hack in the street. And then I want to say it was maybe Josh's mom that had pulled up, because they lived really close to each other. I think that's why they hung out all the time.
Right.
But we were playing, and I kicked the hack, and it landed on the hood of her car.
Okay.
So she was sort of rolling to a stop already, and I went up to grab it off the hood of her car, and her car kept rolling a little bit, and my foot got run over by, I guess it would have been the front tire.
Okay.
And so luckily she didn't stop on it. It just rolled all the way over, and it was, but nothing. I mean, obviously I was wearing shoes, but I did get injured from that happening.
Right.
I don't know if that's something you normally would get injured from. If anything would get broken if your foot gets run over.
I guess, it can depend.
The second time was there was a point. I think Nick Thompson had a convertible. Did he not?
I believe maybe yes.
I believe I was riding around with him somewhere, and then it must have been after school or something, because then I got out of the car, and then I remember that I left my backpack in the back seat. So I turned back to the car, and I reached over to the back seat to grab my backpack, but he didn't notice I did that, and he started to drive off, and his back tire ran over my foot.
Okay.
So, wow, it wasn't until just now that I remembered that happened to me.
More repressed memories from Sean's childhood.
Yeah. So I've survived 2 car crashes, so I'm catching up to old Frayne. Turns out.
You haven't survived 2 car crashes. You've just survived getting hit by 2 cars.
You're right.
Being run over. Yeah. Being run over.
What sounds worse? Being run over or being hit by?
I mean,
because hit sounds like brutal, more damaging, but run over is like, you naturally think of like someone's whole body getting.
Yeah, I mean, they both sound bad, but in different ways.
Yeah. So when I'm trying to impress people and I tell these stories, I want to know which I should say. I've been hit by a car.
I would
twice.
say run over. I would just say run over because it's more. It's
more accurate
without being deceptive.
True.
Because technically it's what happened. But what they assume is that you probably were like completely underneath the vehicle at one point.
Yeah.
But But that's, if they don't ask questions, that's their interpretation of it.
True.
So, yeah.
You see, you want to know how I got this scar? I was playing hacky sack in the street.
You want to know how I got this scar? Self-mutilation.
I grabbed my backpack out of a car. I don't have any scars.
You see this scar? See the scar right here? My cat scratched me.
I kind of wish I had a scar. I might under my eyebrow, but I could be like, you want to know how I got this scar? I was jumping on my sister's bed, and I hit myself on the headboard. I'd be very proud of that really lame scar story if I had something visible evidence of that incident. That was it. That was my first time ever having stitches.
Here's a dumb one. Okay, so this is a loft story that you I think you were there for it.
Okay.
But I threw a pop can at Travis and hit him with it, but one of the ends hit him, so it was like kink, like it was an empty pop can.
Sure.
But yeah, so I wasn't expecting it to like hit him and hurt him because it was an empty aluminum can.
Yeah.
But he got pissed and threw it back at me, and in my attempt to dodge away from it, I dodged directly into it.
I think I remember this.
And it cut my forehead.
Yeah.
And I do have a scar from that.
So
that's a really
pretty
stupid
sad scar story.
That's a pretty sad scar story. I mean, 90% of my scar stories are sad ones, and I have, unfortunately, a lot of visible scars on my body.
That story
they're all pretty dumb.
That story would even be dumb. It would already be dumb if it was something like you crushed the can on your head. Like remember people would do that?
Yeah.
Like that would already be a dumb story. But this is
like I leaned into
a
projectile flying towards me.
I unsuccessfully dodged and already crushed. Was it crushed already?
It was not crushed. That was what's worse about it. It wasn't crushed at all.
So in a can being crushed, there's a chance that some of the edges might break,
right?
And there's like some sharp edges.
No. This was just the rounded off lip edge of a top of a pop can.
The top of the can. Okay. What if it was the tab? You sure it wasn't the tab?
I'm pretty sure it was the
pull
edge.
Tab?
I mean, it could have been the tab.
What's worse?
I mean, I couldn't see it. It hit me in the forehead, so I couldn't see how it hit me.
I'm guessing you were dodging it with your eyes closed because you went right to it.
I don't remember if my eyes closed or what, but I guess if
your eyes were open, you may have successfully dodged it. I don't know.
Yeah, I zigged when I should have zagged.
Yeah, I think the only other scar that I think I have is I should say other. I think it's the only one I have because there is no scar that I can at least see under my eyebrow, but it's just on my wrist when I cut myself with a box cutter at Archway. That's it.
How do you not have scars? I literally, my arms are riddled with scars.
I might. I don't ever think about it or I don't really look. I just know of the one on my wrist from the box cutter, so I know where that is. But I mean, I could somewhere. I don't know.
90% of the ones on my arms are from cats, but I also have one on one of my cheeks. I don't remember which one. From when I was really little and I was pretending to shave with a real razor.
I think I did that once. I think I took it. Well, I must not have been actually pretending to shave, but I remember taking one and running it down my nose.
Oh, Jesus.
It didn't do much. It's not
took a layer off.
No. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like taking a cheese slicer and I'm left with a square of skin. It was,
just a couple little cuts.
It just broke through enough to make it bleed a little bit.
Okay.
It didn't do much, but obviously, I mean, maybe it's hard to say. Maybe there is a scar from that. I don't know what my nose would look like without.
Right.
My nose looks the way it does. So if part of my nose is a scar, then I have a scar on my nose. But I don't know if I do or not.
We're just gonna tell scar stories. I have a scar on one of my knuckles. I can't remember which one from scraping it on the bottom of a pool.
Oh, I've done that.
So dumb.
I might have something on my foot now that you mentioned that.
It's the dumbest thing.
I was at we were in Texas at the former in-laws' house. I don't know how to say it. And I was swimming in their pool, and one of the times when I think it was maybe I was swimming to the edge and I was turning around to swim back the other way, and I felt my foot hit the wall of the pool, and it didn't. Scrapes are usually there's lines that are in the direction
Right.
that your foot or whatever it was brushed up against whatever surface scraped it. This was a hole. Like it made
Like
a
something
perfectly
punctured you?
There was like a perfectly round hole in the top of my foot.
Weird.
And once it healed over, it was there for a long time before it fully healed up. Because it was, I mean, obviously it's not massive, but I'd say I'm not good at judging. I'm maybe an eighth of an inch diameter, and maybe equally deep. Like it was so weird. It
punctured you.
It must have. It made no sense. But man, that hurt. I don't think there's any remaining. I don't think there's any. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything just by looking at my foot now. Anything obvious? Maybe I have. Maybe I have super skin or something.
Or soup foreskin.
Soup foreskin.
Or soup foreskin.
Is that where
you were going with it originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not when I said. I just repeated what you said, but then it sounded, kind of like that. So it was a natural progression.
That'll be the next Dr. Seuss book.
Which version is it? Soup foreskin or soup foreskin?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Bye.
to update.
Okay.
Okay. What? No. To update everyone. Surprisingly, I got 0 feedback on the Big Larry letter.
Oh, you don't say.
I'm just gonna, I guess, send it off as is.
All right.
And
see what happens.
We'll see what happens if anything happens with Whitewater Rapids Adventure Park. But yeah, reach out to us on the things.
Please.
HS Famous Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. highschoolfamous@gmail.com to reach us by that. We technically have a Patreon. It's there.
Yep. Just
if you
waiting.
think we're awesome.
It's just waiting.
Even if you're like, you know what, these guys are worth 5 cents a month. I'm not sure what increments you can select to donate.
I would assume it'd be
so maybe 5 cents isn't possible. Well, maybe you're thinking these guys are worth $1 a month. Shoot us something over, and we can maybe eventually get to where we're covering hosting fees and all that junk. But I mean, don't do it because of that. We can afford it. But if you think we're awesome, just say, hey, you know what? This is how much I value you two at. You two human beings. I value you at $1 a month, and so I'm willing to contribute that to your efforts.
Yeah, because Sean already knows how much he's worth sexually.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, yeah. Wait, we can check inflation.
Yeah, I know. There's inflation. I mean, there
was a lot of inflation.
There's a lot of inflation. Yeah. And then there's just natural degradation over time. I don't know if I could fetch the same price I used to.
Your natural degradation?
But yeah, I mean, I think, yes. Yeah, I think the business is flourishing. I think that,
and the
also,
value of money hasn't gone down.
Value of money hasn't gone down. I'm degrading. Business is flourishing. So there's way more,
supply and less demand.
There's way more supply. So yeah,
and
I don't know.
No demand for you.
No, so far. Well, I mean, I'm not.
Currently.
Yeah. The last time I checked, there was no demand for me. Yeah.
If there's any listeners out there who are in demand for Sean, please contact us on all those things he said prior. I almost said privately.
Private. Yeah. Let me know if.
Contact him privately because I don't need to know.
Let me. Oh, guess what?
What?
I got another email from Mr. Feedspot.com.
You're shitting me.
Top 25 No, he's like, Joe, let me know when you're gonna put the show notes. I'm not gonna respond to him. I'm like,
so he's obviously checking our show notes, like each episode, or like
that,
on the overall show notes.
I'm gonna try this. Because I never said I was going to do it, and I even said I just said, you're
just gonna say I did it.
I might just say I did it. Okay. And then if he stops emailing me, then
we know he doesn't check or care.
But if he does, you know what? I'm going to do that because then we'll find out if he checks or not. Because if he does check, he might come back and call me out on it. But
well, yeah. But then it's at that point, it's like, dude, then just listen to the show, and we've mentioned you on our show way more than we should have at this point now. And he'll listen to this, and we're just bad mouthing him, and he'll just
But my thing is like, who reads show notes?
Right.
There's more people looking at social media than show notes of a podcast. And I named the website I linked the website in an Instagram post, which posts to Twitter and which posts to the Facebook page.
Like, I'm wondering, is he wanting us to post it in every single, like, episode show notes? Or is it
I think he just...
Or is that, like, our bio? Like, he wants it in our show bio?
No, I think he just wants it to be included in one of the episode's show notes. And I thought that what I did was above and beyond that, because we mentioned it verbally a few times now.
Yeah. And then you posted it on all of our social.
So I thought that would have, satisfied this
we've
guy.
done more. We've done more for him than we needed to, and I'm
going to email him and tell him that. I'm going to email him and tell him that we put it in the show notes,
just to see what happened.
And I'll even name the episode. Whatever we call this episode, I'll say,
okay,
look for it on this next post or whatever, and we'll see
see if he actually checks it, or he'll just be like, "Thanks, guys." And we're like,
I hope.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to say thanks, guys, and then disappear. At least that's what I hope.
Part of me hopes he never disappears. Just gives us more to talk about.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.